Hi everyone, my name's Amy Beth. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm doing a short video on submitting demos to different record labels. So what I'm doing is a bit of research into different record labels in Australia, putting together a list and giving you guys a sneak preview of some of my originals. I have never actually done this before, so any advice that I give is only stuff that I've researched before doing this video today. So please do your own research before you take on any of this advice. I have not done this before and I can't say that I've had any success with it yet either. But let's give it a go and see what happens. Finding Australian record labels is actually turning out to be really difficult. So there's a lot of record labels and options available for overseas, the United States, Germany, those sort of places. But finding something in Australia that I could actually submit and work with is really difficult. If you know of any Australian record labels that I could try submitting some demos to, please just leave a comment below and I'll check it out. Alright, so I found a few different ones that I'm going to now put all of their contact details into my Excel spreadsheet so that I can see exactly what I'm doing and who I need to contact and how to contact them, so it's a little bit more streamlined. So what I've got here is Curb Word Entertainment, and they've just got an email, so I found a few different ones. I've also got the Artist Development Academy, Sony Music, record label submissions, which this one's a little bit different, but I'm keeping it here just in case. Universal Music, Capital Christian Music Group, and they also have this one. I'm not actually sure if this one is a record label, but they do support music, and particularly Christian music and artists, so I thought I'd shoot them an email anyway and just see what happens. It can't hurt. I've also got Dream Label Group. So I'm not actually sure where these guys are based. I need to double check on that. But they're happy to accept some submissions, so that's always good news. This one's a little bit different. It's not actually a record label, but I did find some interesting stuff about scholarships and funding for different musicians and independent musicians. And it is Australian, so I'm going to have a bit of a look at this later, so I'm just saving it up here for later. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and open up Excel and put together a bit of a list. Alright, before I get started, I'm going to grab a cuppa. So it's actually really freezing in here this morning, so a hot cup of coffee is exactly what I need to keep my hands nice and warm. It's actually pretty good coffee. However, I have just had to stop having regular milk, so it's got almond milk in it, which is okay, but it's just not the same. Alright, time to get to work. Some of these guys actually only take submissions via their online contact form, so I'm just going to make a note of that in my sheet and then I'll tick off whether or not I've actually done that yet. Next I have Sony Music. Now they don't actually have a specific email, or they haven't said anything that I can find about submitting demos, but they do have an inquiries email. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to shoot them an email with some demos and see what they say. If they don't say anything, well, it wouldn't be the first time that's happened to an artist. So this one here is record label submissions, which is a different group altogether. So what they actually do is I can submit my demos to these guys and they will then forward that on to a lot of different companies. Now this is a great idea because if they think it's any good, they will definitely forward it on for you, and the record labels are more likely to have a listen. But the trouble for me is it's actually a little bit expensive and I don't have any money. So It costs $30 for one track, and then obviously per track price decreases the more tracks you send in. So it's $60 for 2 tracks and then $75 for 4, and so on. So it does become more value for money the more tracks that you submit. But right at this point in time, I don't actually have any money. One of the reasons why I'm trying to get a record deal. And so this isn't going to work for me just now, but I am going to take a note of it anyway, put it into my sheet just for future reference. There may come a time when I have a bit of spare money to throw into this, which would be a great opportunity for me. Alright, so Capital Christian Music Group actually refuses to take unsolicited demos. So I can't really just shoot them an email or send them anything with demos in it because they specifically requested not to. So I wouldn't really have a chance with them if I tried it. So, and these guys actually produce a lot of music for a lot of the biggest Christian artists around the world. So I'd be really keen to get in on there, but I'm not really sure how to do that. I'm wondering if maybe I contact promos for some of their artists. But if any of you guys have any ideas, please drop a comment and I will definitely check it out. So it turns out the Dream Label Group is actually located in Colorado in the US. They have a couple of other locations as well, but they're all overseas, which whilst I would absolutely love to travel, I don't really have the finances to go that far at this stage. But I'm going to shoot them an email anyway, give them some submissions and just see what happens, because you never know. So I've just found the best website. It's www.umusic.com.au/labels, and they actually give you a list of different Australian labels. And not only that, but they give you a short description of what sort of music these labels actually tend to produce. Some of them produce a bit of everything, and others are fairly specific to either country or hip hop or electronic music. So this is really helpful because I know it's important when you're submitting demos to not just submit to anything. You need to make sure that that label actually is interested in producing the sort of music that you like, which can be quite difficult sometimes, especially if you're not familiar with all of the artists that they advertise that they produce for. But these giving you a short little description means that I can go through and pick out which ones I want to look at and which ones I don't. So I've got a few selected already. I've just been opening them up, including ABC Music, Island Records and a couple of others, and I'm not quite at the end of the list yet. So this is really interesting and I'm really excited to see how many different options I come up with through this website. So you can see on this page for Island Records Australia that they have a contact form, but they also have in small print down the bottom here, they say please forward any demo submissions to, and then they've got their little email address. So what I'm doing is I'm going to exclude the contact form and only put in the email into my list because they've specifically asked for demo submissions to be sent there. So whilst I could just send it to both just to be sure, I think because they've asked, it'd be really polite to just follow what they're asking me to do, and I'll have a better chance that way. Alright, so I've finished my spreadsheet, at least for today. I've got as many as I can find that look like they would take submissions, and I'm going to leave it there. Right now, what I'm going to do is the fun part of this video, where I've got 5 songs that I've recorded. They're not quite finished yet, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a listen to them and I'm going to try and pick which ones I'm going to present first. So most places will only take 1 to 3 submissions at a time, so I need to pick the best 3. The other thing I've learned recently is that a lot of places will only listen to the first 30 seconds of the song. So I need to listen to my songs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my phone and put a little 30-second timer on it, I'm going to stop each song after 30 seconds and I'm going to try and pick which ones of my 5 songs have the best first 30 seconds. And I'm going to let you guys listen to them, and what I want you to do is comment below which ones that you think would be the best top 3 to present as demos. So this is a really awesome sneak peek at the first 30 seconds of 5 of my original songs. And hopefully by the time I've got a bunch of comments, I'll have all of these songs finished and ready to go. So opening up the timer on my phone. So opening up my music, this is the fun part. My songs. The first one I'm going to play is called Songbird Fly Away, one of the first songs I wrote some time ago. Seconds. So that one has a really long intro, and personally I think the pace is a little bit too slow in the beginning for it to be a good 30-second intro to one of my original songs. That's my opinion. So I think that one's probably going at the bottom of the list, except I don't have a list, so I'm going to make a list. Reset the stopwatch. And the next song I'm going to play is Blown with the Wind. Another really early song, but this one is one of my favorites. Has a very personal story that goes with it, and I really like the sound of it.
The summer's coming to an end, all the trees are full and green. A little leaf torn from its branch by an early autumn breeze. Mommy is gone before her time.
Alright, that's 30 seconds. So I am liking that one, but I am biased because it is one of my favorites. So I'd really appreciate comments on what you guys think. It still is a slow pace, but the vocals in that are heaps better. And I think that it really sets a bit of a mood, which would encourage people to probably want to listen further. But what do you guys think? Please leave a comment, let me know. Alright. Resetting the stopwatch. Song number 3 is going to be When I Sing. This is a fairly recent one. Also very personal, written about some stuff from my background and my childhood. So I'm gonna have a listen and see what I think in my first 30 seconds.
I'm tired of closing doors, the slamming silence. I'm scared of closing windows, the creeping darkness. All I wanted was to sing for you.
Alright, that's 30 seconds. So I'm liking that one a little bit more. Because it shows a bit of versatility. So it's got the guitar intro and the harmonies come in straight up, which I really like as well. Obviously, being my song, I am a little bit biased, but I think that shows a bit of versatility in my ability to do harmonies, to use different instrumentation. So it's also a slow pace, so I'm gonna go with, so far I think it's at the top because it's different. And then I'll put Blown with the Wind as second. But I have another 2 songs, obviously, to listen to. So just going to reset this stopwatch. And the next ones are both reasonably recent, like written in the last couple of years, but they're recorded in a garage with a full band, so they sound a little bit different, but they are also very different sounds in the overall song and the instrumentation, so they might show a bit more versatility. But let's just have a listen. The first one is In Every Weather. That is 30 seconds. So I think that one has a pretty long instrumental intro, which might not make it the best for that first 30 seconds, but it does have a really good sense of building. So I think that's an option, but it's still probably near the bottom. And last but not least is Stormbird. I know, 2 songs about birds, but I'm not actually that obsessed with birds. I do like them, but I do find them inspiring as well. This one's very different to the first one though. So Stormbird, I'm just going to reset this and have a listen.
The air is silent, still before the storm. My soul is crying, dried up and alone. Rain down on me.
Alright, 30 seconds. So I'm thinking that one needs to go somewhere near the top as well, because the introduction is different. It's nice. It has not just the piano but a really nice riff, and it also has the electric guitar, which is something that we haven't heard in any of the other songs yet. So obviously in these 2 ones that I've recorded in the garage, my vocals are not that great, but that's because I didn't have the space that you need for sound deadening to record vocals in. So something I'm going to do before I actually submit those is redo the vocals on those in a proper room with a good mic. So that's going to be happening soon, but in the meantime, let me know in the comments which 3 you'd want to listen to some more after that first 30 seconds, and I'll have a look at the results and see what happens. And stay tuned to see how I go with submitting these demos. Alright, that's it. Thanks for watching today, everyone. If you like the sound of these songs, give me a thumbs up and hit subscribe if you want to see the results of me submitting my demos, and if you'd like to stay tuned for possibilities of hearing some more of my originals in the future. Thanks for watching.